What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. My name is Gonzo, and today my guest is Alex Ketchum. You guys may know him because he's normally just minding his own business when some cards drop out of the sky. Alex, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm happy now that we're doing this. I was looking forward to doing this all day, so today
Yes.
just got a whole lot better.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that you're excited for it. I'm really excited about it. We've already had some questions from Instagram on your side asking about some topics we want to talk about. But before we jump into that, let's get some of the people who don't really know who you are, which might be a lot more than we expect, especially for how big the hobby is. Tell them a little bit about yourself within the Pokemon space before we talk about the content in general.
I was super lucky. I was there for the 1999 boom, the original one. And sisters and I collected for 3 years. I got very deep into the video games, and it's a major reason I'm such an anime nerd today. It was like Pokemon, the Indigo League series, was my gateway drug into all anime after that. And basically, the love for anime carried me through my teens, my 20s, and into my 30s. And in 2016, a little app called Pokemon Go drops right around Evolution's time,
Yeah.
and I got bit by the bug again. And it's been 8 solid years, maybe almost 9 years now of collecting again. And the content stuff started happening in late 2019.
Yeah, that's awesome because you started before the boom. Where did you start with your content?
So 2019 was funny because I work at an advertising agency that I co-own, which is how I fund a lot of the content that people watch. I don't actually, for the last 5 years, I wasn't paid to make videos. It was just a hobby to make them. And it really started off with trying to figure out the TikTok platform for my clients, because a lot of brands came to us and they're like, hey, how do we get our ads or products onto TikTok? And truth be told, we had no idea what to do because I was 32 at the time and I was making fun of Musical.ly and TikTok and all those apps. I'm like, I'm never going to download that. Sure enough, I ended up having to for work. And it was like something out of an Adam Sandler movie montage where we would have like 10-year-olds in the office. We'd be like, why do you like TikTok? We'd be running focus groups with like multiple age groups that were on the app, trying to figure out like what's going on here. Ultimately, those groups were futile. And for me to really get it, I had to make a TikTok. And at that point, I was really enjoying a lot of Leonhardt's content, Unlisted Leaf and Rhyme Style. And so I was like, hey,
Rhyme
to test
style, that's a while ago.
yeah, Max Mofo. I mean, I could go on forever, but either way, I started making card opening videos there because no one knew who I was. It wasn't like a thing. And I was like, I can test out the algorithm, understand the posting, the comments, the culture. And within a month, the page was doing like good. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to keep doing this. Sorry, Ricky, I'm seeing this now. Voice feedback is going high to low. That might be the fact that I'm like moving back and forth.
Yeah. If it's too loud or too high, let me know and I can adjust it a little bit, but I can't do anything too crazy since it's his actual mic. But
dang, I'm sorry, guys. How bad is it right now?
so it sounds good to me.
Okay, cool.
But I do hear the demon voice that Roxanne's son is talking about.
Oh, do you think it might be the Wi-Fi?
Dang. No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't think so. It's Roxanne's son says it's pretty bad.
Let me see. Is this making it better?
That's so weird that it is going up and down for like from your regular voice to like a low, like deep. Like
I do love metal music. You could just be emanating out of my aura right now. Yeah. I'll try not to move around too much and try and keep this. Either way, the way that I got onto TikTok making content was very serendipitous. It was not planned, and it was not for the sake of becoming a TCG content creator long term. It was very much an accident, a happy accident.
Yeah. So you were doing it before it became TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy to think about because that happened what, mid-pandemic, right?
This was right before the pandemic kicked off.
No, yeah. But in the chat, we have Roxanne's son, SCC, the Hat Turn, Shug Nasty, Kev the Poke Ghost, What'd You Pull, Ricky Hernandez, and the mod at Katie. Thank you guys so much for coming in. If you guys have any questions you guys want me to ask, drop it in the Q&A and we will get to it. Professor Metri says, I'm sorry, I just woke up. Love you both. Hey, at least it just started, Metri. You're good.
Metri, good to hear from you, dude. Legend.
Yeah, so you started doing this as a pretty much as your own self-contained focus test. How did you grow from TikTok going over to Instagram and now YouTube?
It's the moment that I realized that my TikTok was no longer a test for my company and it was actually this passion project that had probably been boiling in me as a creative for decades. It
Mhm.
was especially during lockdown when business slowed down in advertising. It was really nice to have something to distract me from like the gloom and the dread of that time. And it was like a thing where I was just like, making these videos is fun. The page is growing. And I'm a photographer. I've been a
Mhm.
photographer for a long time. And I wanted to post photos of the cards that I was collecting. And obviously, photos wasn't a big thing on TikTok at that point. So it moved over to Instagram. And then it just kind of cross pollinated into the other platforms after that.
Yeah, and it's amazing to see how drastically the growth has happened on both YouTube and Instagram, all thanks to your daily uploads and daily affirmations and just your behind the scenes of daily content creation. How did that start, and how far do you think you're going to go with that?
So hold on. I want to see if I can actually fix this. If I unplug this mic, I wonder if it'll fix it. And then I'll just have like kind of washed audio. Let's see. Uh,
Oh, now you're muted. Nope, can't hear you still. Nope. If you, since you're on your phone, you might have a button on the mic. Unless you want me to, you want to leave and re-enter, we can try that. Okay. Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. It does happen from time to time. Um, yeah, Metro, you're not going crazy. It sounds like it is his mic. Hey, it looks like Opossum's room. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. It's all it was. Yeah, there he is. He's back.
okay, can we hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Are we still in demon mode right now?
No, no, no. It actually sounds better without the headphones in.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, yeah. Much. Metri says much better.
Okay,
Mondays, am I
sorry guys.
right? Says Kev. Not anymore. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So everyone, yeah, it sounds good. I don't hear myself in the background, which is great to hear when people aren't using headphones. Um, so we, so you, the daily uploads and all that other stuff. How did that start? Because you didn't start on January 1st, like most people who would decide to start something that extravagant going.
I was ready to quit creating content because I felt like I had hit a brick wall where I had grown the most I could grow with the current strategy that I had had.
Mhm.
And going daily was kind of like after 4.5 years being realistic, like what is this costing me creating this content, spending this money on cards? And am I really serious about this? I think it was kind of the breaking point where I realized like this has been my hobby, but do I want it to work like a career?
Mhm.
And for 4 years, I had always kind of tap danced around whether I wanted to be a creator or whether I wanted to be a hobbyist that got some perks. And I think I was ready to quit. And I got on the call with Pat Flynn for an hour and a half. And basically, Pat and I talked and we just kind of assessed like what had been tried, what could be tried, and just kind of broke it down super
Mhm.
mechanically and very unemotionally. And I was kind of like, okay, like if I'm gonna try and be a creator before I quit, I'm gonna dive all in and I'm going
Yeah.
to go daily.
I
And yeah,
I love both your daily uploads, yours and Pat's, because they are very different from a lot of people's daily uploads that were happening before you two changed the script just a little bit. Pat is very much doing the same thing everyone else was doing, like, oh, we're doing a daily pack opening, but the way that he changed it of, I'm going to show you how much I paid, how much it should have cost, is and then of course the melody that comes along with it. And then yours stands out to me the most out of everybody's just because not only is your catchphrase nice and short of "let's minding my own business," and you talk about the year, you gave us the background of the set. Then you open up more than just one pack, and it's normal. It's not, and it's legitimate and not fake and not staged because your luck on on this series is not the greatest. But when you hit, you do hit big. And I've been defending Powder for so long. When every time someone's like, "Oh yeah, look, another person's doing daily uploads thanks to Alex and Pat," I was like, "Well,
Dude, no way.
yeah,
Yeah, Powder was doing it before I was, man.
he's been doing it for almost 2 years because he did it all of last year and he's doing it all of this year." And I love Powder, but now that I've seen so many different variations of it, and I think he's learning it too because he talks about it a little bit in his shorts. His catchphrase is just so long that it just doesn't appeal to some people. Where I'm opening a pack a day for a whole year. This is day whatever out of 365 or 366. It's nice, you know who it is, you know what's going to happen. But I think next year, if he decides to keep going, there might need to be a change on how he presents the pack. But they've been getting so much better this year, closer to the end of the year, with people giving him packs. And like the one where people are saying he's the shitty, is he the keep it open guy? That one was pretty good.
I mean, that's everybody in
yeah.
Pokemon right now, though, because Pat is making such an enormous impact. He's bigger than the hobby at this point, and I think that's kind of an uncomfortable reality that a lot of even the bigger PokeTubers kind of have to contend with. Like Pat, like speaking frankly, is getting over 100 million views a month on between all the platforms. We were never doing. There was never a PokeTuber doing over 100 million views a month on every platform. There's more established PokeTubers. There was our biggest PokeTubers at one point, but with shorts distribution, we're getting regular uploads with 4 million views like every week.
Yeah.
It's just, and I'm a fan of all the PokeTubers. This isn't like me trying to pit people against each other. It's just the meta of how views are attained is changing so wildly right now. And Pat kind of burst out of Pokemon into regular pop culture, the same way that Fortnite transcended Twitch and transcended video games. Pokemon is kind of having a moment right now because of Should I Open It or Keep It Sealed?
Yeah.
That there's a lot of just new blood in the space of like people that have never watched Pokemon content, people that have never opened packs. It's true. Like, so my point was with Powder's thing, every single, like, let's call it probably 60% of people that see videos that open packs, even if we started before Pat, are going to say, should I open it or keep it sealed? Because that is their introduction to the space.
And like, he's going past Pokemon now too. He did the leaf cards. He's doing Magic. He's done Lorcana. He has other cards in the packs in the background that he's really excited to open. And even in the comments, people are like, I don't even care about Pokemon, but it's the, like, you got me. You hooked me.
It's the format, dude. Yeah. Pat cooked, bro. Like, this is the thing. Like, someone in the chat said Pat's the best PokeTuber. Right now, bro is like up 2024. His format, his work ethic, his nonstop focus on making it like more exciting every single time without being alienating. Like, Pat's the GOAT, man. Like, he's really like so good at this. It's mind blowing.
And that does lead us into one of the questions / statements that your Instagram asked you to for us to talk about. Let me see if I just had it and my phone decided to restart. It was I don't know who it's from, but it was the stress and thrill of helping Deep Pocket with his crazy challenges. I'm assuming he wants to know about my end because you've helped him once or twice, and
we've cooked on some things, but not to the level you have. Yeah.
No, and I think that's where the person's getting at. But I'll ask Gonzo if he feels the same about the being a content creator being stressful, helpful, and that leads into what you were saying. Like, Pat is built different. He essentially, I won't say he saved your YouTube career or Pokemon career.
No, 100%, bro. I was crashing out. He absolutely intervened. Yeah.
In the, like, him and Dan, his producer, are always so open to try to help people. And I've had people like, well, Pat never responds to me. Like, but at the same time, you and I built that level of friendship with them. We're like, okay, I know these guys. Let me talk to them. For everybody else, it is unfortunate. You might get lost in the shuffle. He has over 1 million subscribers just on YouTube. That's not TikTok. That's on
one
Instagram.
YouTube. He's got
That's
two
one YouTube.
YouTubes.
Yes, he does have two. And you got to remember, there's people DMing him daily to ask for help, ask for shout outs, ask for free product. So he has to cipher through all that. And I'm sure Dan does too, because Dan and I talked about last time he was here in San Diego, how people DM him like, oh, when are you guys doing? Like, I live in San Diego. Let me help. Let me help. I live here. I live over here. I'm willing to drive. I'm like, you got to build the rapport with Pat first, with anybody, not like even with me, with you. Like, I met you. I followed your stuff for a few months before Card Party last year. So I've been following you for a little more than a year. Mm-hmm. And then at Card Party, I finally I met you, and just like everyone else, you're cool as shit. You can cuss on the podcast. I'm not going to bleep
Great.
it.
I was actually going to ask earlier on. I forgot.
Yeah. You were cool as shit. Like you and Nick and I, and people coming in and out of the room while Nick and I were filming, like you were having full on conversations. You didn't care about size of my content to your content. You were just like, hey, you're a person. Let's talk. That is very much how Pat is. And they're willing to talk, but you need to build the rapport first before you do something like this. And that's why it took me so long to be like, okay, I have this rapport with Alex. Let me see if he's willing to come on. And again, thank you for that. But the daily uploads is crazy, and I'm so excited to see more of it. I'm glad you're going out more than just Pokemon. One comment or one question that we had from Instagram is, are you going to do another build and battle set? And if so, what set?
So build and battles maybe, but I think I kind of had a come to Jesus moment with Tag Team Tuesday that I don't. And this isn't to say that other guys aren't bankrolled different, and so the level of risk to their own finances isn't different than mine.
Right.
But Tag Team Tuesday for me made sense in a scenario where the pull rates maintained their standard pull rates, right? Like if you buy a team up booster box, you can anticipate potentially getting an alternate art or potentially getting a secret rare, something that kind of has like your EV isn't totally cooked. And I was counting, not only on the money that I would make from views, but also potentially pulling a card that was maybe worth $400, $500, or, kind of offsetting those expenses, because $3,000, I'm not built like these other guys where it's like, yo, we're opening another first edition Neo Destiny box. What?
Yeah.
Like, I don't got it like that, man. So this was a really big risk. And one of the biggest takeaways I had from Tag Team Tuesday is it's kind of feels bad when people assume that you're just this loaded guy blowing money, because it makes you totally unrelatable. And to be honest with you, like even the first time I uploaded a video, it made my content feel in this really weird way, like icky. Like, oh,
I can understand that. Yeah.
I'm just doing a $3,000 box right now, bros. Like, I'm serious when I say this. Like, I do okay because I own a business, but I do not have it like I can just drop $3,000 and go to the Gucci store and drive an Audi RS7. Like, that's not how I'm living. And it was a test to see, hey, does this format work? Could the format pay for itself? Will people enjoy it? And while technically, yes, as a content creator, it did perform, as a collector, it sucked.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you read the energy of so many of the comments, it's less about the hobby. It's less about, whoa, those cards look beautiful, Sun and Moon era. That's when I started collecting. It's less about that and more like, this guy's a jack off. This is such a waste of money. This is so pointless. And I'll be real, like part of me is like, yeah, if there's going to be 3 ultra rares in this whole box, yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. This is a dumb thing to do. So I know that's long-winded, but that's kind of like why a Tag Team Tuesday and more high ticket items, I'm never just going to do stuff for shock value, because I don't care if I'm making $1 billion. It's unrelatable, and it's just kind of like burning money on a street corner for content.
Right.
Like, yo, bros, I'm just lighting $3,000 on fire right now. Haha, drop a like and a sub. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I think is like cringe. So I don't want to bring the hobby there, if that makes sense.
No, and that makes total sense. Like I do well for myself and my family, but this isn't a very expensive hobby. That's why I only when I do my opening live streams, I normally only do them once a month, and I just stock up on the month of product to open. Like I have a booster box of Unified Minds behind me, but I'm not just
Yo,
gonna open that up to open that up. Like there's a goal set. Like when I hit 5K, I will open that box.
nice,
And
bro.
I didn't even pay for that box. That was a gift from a viewer, and they know that's one of my favorite sets of all time. There's the tag team Altar Raichu in there that I still need. Um, but I felt like no, that box isn't worth a 1,000 live stream. But there is stuff I will splurge on every once in a while, but nothing like a build and battle box of tag team. And that's not to say anything against you. That's just for my pocket. That doesn't make sense. And I think
Yes.
that's where a lot of newer people in this hobby, and not just the hobby, but in the content creation space, they fail miserably because they go bankrupt trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber milestone,
You chase the
thinking
dragon,
YouTube,
man.
yeah,
100%. Yeah.
YouTube, they're like, oh, I made 1,000 subs. Great, YouTube's going to pay me. That's wrong. I only get like $80 a month from YouTube, and
Yeah.
that's with the memberships, and that's if no one does any. And I'm not saying member up. I'm not saying drop a dono or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like that's how little YouTube actually pays the content creators for watch times and view times, unless you're a huge content creator. That's
Mhm.
why that's why there's merch stores, and that's why people do rip and chips, which I'll never do because rip and chips cost money. It's one of those spend money to make money things, and I don't have the time or the patience to do. Uh, but there will be moments from like, you know what, I will splurge a little extra and do something for
Milestones,
myself.
right.
Yeah, milestones.
Milestones. Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
yes,
And
and
again, bro,
yeah,
like if people have, if people really do just have bankroll to the moon,
fucking Metri, my lunch money.
bro, yeah, if we're like balling out like Metri, dude, like 100% rip Skyridge in the Lambo. But like, it's one of those things where I always, I tell it like this: I document, I don't create. I
Yeah,
really wanted to pull an alt art from Tag Team. Tag Team Tuesday existed not for views, bro, but so that I could literally pull a a tag team alt art. Like that
yeah,
was the goal. Like, and then I filmed it, which could offset some of the costs. But ultimately, it stemmed from a place of wanting to know, like, what if it went the opposite way, right? And we found out that the build in battles had a higher ceiling for pulls, and I pulled
right.
two alt arts, right?
Then
There was
everyone's
like,
gonna go do it, and no one would watch it because it always happens.
this is my one thing that I'm grateful about. Very few people, I know Rev did, very few people have opened a Sun and Moon era build and battle box as like in front of everyone's face. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm happy that that series exists so that people in the future understand, like, do not do this.
Yeah. Rev does a lot of things that people should not do. His biggest things or contribution lately is I'm going to open up everything from MJ Holding and shitty mystery packs from Amazon, eBay, Macari.
Mm,
Like, don't some mystery packs are great. Like, sometimes you'll make your money back, but you got to remember they're mystery packs made by, except for MJ Holdings, by me and you and other people in their house trying to make their money back.
yeah.
You're just not going to do it. But that's not to say that Revs and Vaults and Shiny Verts are doing the same. Like everyone has their different catch for mystery packs, and then like Opossum and Roxanne has done dozens of videos on the math of mystery packs on their own.
Mm-hmm.
But the packs that Rev does specifically, they're out to scam people 100%. That's my opinion though.
Yeah, I got one Rev pack and I got the jungle pack in it. So
Yeah,
I'm just like
I can't talk shit. I got
no,
Watsy.
look, right? Like a lot of people were like, "Oh, Alex, it's because it's you." But I imagine it as a
Oh
business owner,
man, yeah,
right? Rev's mystery boxes are a volume game. It's not that he's making, a lot of margin. He has to sell thousands to make like the good money. I don't think there's Alex Hodges is a pretty common name, and B, there's so many people out there ordering that I doubt that there's some like IQ 9000, order processor being like, his AI is going off and he's like,
right.
oh, Alex Hodges, the content creator, even though his name is Alex Ketchum on every platform. Like, I don't know, like it could have been planted, but I know Nick and I don't think he'd do that.
I don't think he'll do that either. There's so many people that every time someone opens up a mystery pack from Rev, that there's somewhat knowledge of each other. Like Shiny Vert just opened one and he got a rainbow pack. That was the first thing. It was like, no, you guys know each other. Like we know each other, but not to that level of he knows my name. He knows he knows where I live, my address. That's not true. And people are doing the same thing. When I was opening up packs from Shiny Vert, I wasn't even using my name. I was using my wife's name.
There you go. Because
I know he knows my name. And my wife, she doesn't have the same last name because she didn't want to change it. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't want to spend money to change your last name either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I want to go back to something we were talking about. One of the biggest bummers and this is like a champagne problem, obviously, like let the eye rolls kind of come in. One of the biggest bummers for me with going daily and with growing more followers is the exact thing you were talking about with Pat, where you can't get back to every comment and you can't get back to every DM, because I see my pages more like a Discord than I see them as like, I'm a celebrity and I just keep getting more famous. Like, I want to talk to everybody that sends me a question. I want to talk to everybody who just started collecting or started collecting 15 years ago. Like, this is my shit. This hobby is my shit. I could be in Frankenson for 5 hours straight talking about anything with everyone. And the one thing that's been actually such a bummer about getting hundreds of comments a day between the three platforms is I'm starting to feel like another one of these monolith, like, what's up, guys? Haha, you're back again. Buy a t-shirt. And I don't really give a shit. I do give a shit. Like, I want to talk to everyone and make them realize it's a two-way street, but I am having a serious volume problem right now with the way that things are happening. And it's like, bro, like, even if I spent 2 hours right now going through every platform trying to respond to every comment, I couldn't. Like,
no, absolutely.
And that's a really shitty reality. And also, like, it's only growing more, and I plan to continue to go daily. And I'm just like, maybe I'm just gonna have like the best mods ever or something. But that's the one aspect of this where the community starts to feel more disconnected because there's only so much time in the day.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine how much worse it is for Pat.
Yeah, and you, Pat, Nick, like even my friends take 2 to 3 hours to respond sometimes. And I'm not gonna be like, well, they must be mad at me. No, I understand they're busy people. You have a life, you have a job, wife and kids, and other things going on. I get it. I'm not priority. I'm not going to be upset about it. And again, and a lot of people thankfully do understand, but at the end of the day, there's always that one person they don't love the fans. They just want the money. That's not true.
Bro, it's not even like it's not even like those people, bro. It's like, I know for fact that there are actual kids on their parents' accounts.
Oh, absolutely.
Watching my stuff. And if I send them a message back, they're going to be like, whoa, oh my gosh, the guy I saw just responded. Like, I saw it happen like the other day where like this interaction, like actually this kid thinks I'm cool or something. And it was like, I can't believe I have the kind of power where if I just write back a detailed response, like, actually, bro, this is 2019. It's XY. So you might have seen that. Like, that goes such a far way with kids, man. And there's so many kids in our communities. Like, this is the joke of audience reporting, the demographic reports you get on Instagram and on TikTok. They tell you like, oh, your number one demo is 25 to 34 male. And half of it is not.
It's their kid watching their stuff.
That's the little kid on their parents' iPhone, man. And like, when you start to realize that stuff, like, I met a guy and his 2 sons. And I always thought like the reason that my account was getting engaged with his page was because he was an adult fan. And I meet him finally at Comic-Con, and he's there with his 2 sons. And his 2 sons are like yo, oh my God. And like, I'm like, those are the people watching, not the dad. And
not the dad. Yeah. The same thing happened to me at Card Party. And it is what it is at this point. Hopefully the kids don't watch the live streams because I have a very bad potty mouth.
Yeah.
But,
I think we're safe in the live stream.
Yeah. But my pre-recorded content, I have been trying to make it a little more family friendly because of Card Party and because of Pat and because that's usually what they're watching. Because or my opening live streams, they're very much into that. But the conversations, they don't care about. There's nothing going on. There's no shiny things going on. But I am going to go into the Q&A side. And the first question from the chat is from Roxandy's son. What is your top 5 favorite Pokemon?
Mew, Haunter, Alakazam, Raichu, Nosepass.
No, the Nosepass caught me off guard. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. It's just Gen 1, Nosepass. Nosepass. Where did Nosepass come from?
That's the best question ever, bro. Where did Nosepass come from, bro?
I know he's designed after the Easter Island heads, but where did it come from to enter your top 5?
You know, I was opening a lot of Sun and Moon back when I first started collecting, and I saw Nosepass for the first time, and I was repulsed. I was like, come on, Pokemon, try harder. And I was so repulsed that I did more digging. It's like a song that's annoying and you can't get it out of your head. So you keep listening to the song like, man, this song sucks. Man, this song sucks. And then they're like, man, this song kind of fucking sucks right now. That was me with Nosepass, where I went from like Nosepass #1 hater to like, bro, give me a Nosepass plush. I have an all Nosepass binder. Love Nosepass.
That's awesome. My top 5, obviously, I'm going to go with Raichu's #1. Halucha, Beedrill, Flygon, and Gengar are my top 5.
Quick question, and maybe you know this. So I have Hispanic family, and Halucha always gives me like kind of Mexican vibes a little bit.
He's a luchador.
Bro, right? Like, and I was like, that is so cool that Mexico got that representation, bro. I thought that was awesome. So if I had a number 6, it'd be Halucha for sure.
I love Halucha. It's one of my favorite shinies of all time too. It's so good.
Yeah.
Second question from the chat is from Professor Metri. How do you keep up with the behind the scenes? Then in itself could be a whole second channel with how you consistent you are with it.
I'm a big believer that literally anyone can do what I'm doing. And I think that that's really good news, because for a long time, I was under the impression that you had to be God's favorite to be a content creator. I thought you had to be young. I thought you had to be sexy. I thought you had to have like the natural,
you are all of those.
I thought you had to like the natural comedy of Chris Farley. Like, I thought you had to basically be chosen, like a different race of human being to be a content creator. And with my daily posts, I was testing that. I was like, I'm going to post every day, and I'm going to see if I cannot hard work myself into the status or into the career of this. And so it was an experiment. And as part of that, I wanted there to be transparency. So no one in a year can be like, yo, Alex Hodges, he just got super lucky because he's so good looking and he's such a good dancer and he's got the comedy of Chris Farley. It's like, no, I am forcibly wedging myself into these platforms every single day. Like, some days it's super hard. Some days there's pus coming out of my tonsils, and the doctor's saying, hey, if this steroid and this antibiotic don't work, your tonsils are coming out. And I'm sitting there looking at AI programs like, am I going to have to pre-record my voice because when my tonsils come out, I wanted to prove to every hardworking person that does not feel like they have a gilded existence that like you can hard work your way past all the lucky people. All the people that blew up on some viral dance or like whatever, I'm like, that's cool. Have your 2 years, but I'm going to be here for 10 years. I'm going to post every day. Like, I want to prove hard work is the next factor.
There's 2 things that I want to talk about from that statement. One is, which I agree with Josh, you are sexy. And the second is that just brings me back to I don't want to call it an incident, but what the guy who blocked you during the summer because he tried to call you and Pat out for I want to say it was like around day 50 or so, and he was like, these guys are talking about these numbers and this and that. Like, look at their numbers compared to my numbers, and I'm a much smaller channel. And then he blocked you. And then Pat called him out, and all of a sudden his attitude changed. His attitude changed so much that on the next live stream Pat did, he donated money for a super chat. So I was like, wait a minute, whoa. I guess that goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like, you want to treat people how you like. People are just people.
Yeah.
And Pat didn't say anything negative. He didn't attack him. He was just like, hey guys, let's turn this into a teachable moment. Like, don't act this way. It's not a good look. And because a lot, and I hate to say it, and Pat hates to admit it too, people love to defend Pat, and I will too, to an extent.
Oh, for sure.
That the other guy was posting stories like, hey, please don't threaten me. I didn't make anything too outrageous. And I agree with that. And so does Pat. Don't threaten people just because there's a disagreement. But at the same time, don't attack people for being happy about their numbers. Just because they're happy about numbers doesn't mean that you shouldn't be happy about your numbers. Yes, you're doing better than them analytically wise, but at the end of the day, who's happier? The guy who's happy about posting numbers growing, or the guy who wants to bitch and complain that he has a smaller channel and he's doing better numbers, but no one's following and subscribing?
Well, this is the thing that is this is what muddies the water with content creation, that more people have to, like, especially content creators, it's really important to figure out. You can get 100 million views next week and it will change absolutely nothing about your life. Mm-hmm. If you do not build a community, views are worth nothing, bro. Like, the Hawk Tua thing is very rare now. It used to be like you could get like a short 2-3 year career if you get 100 million view video. It is not like that anymore. So that guy was trying to be like, yo, it's such a joke that these guys think that the fact that they're posting daily and growing is impressive because look, I made a meme video that got 2 million views. And it's like,
yeah, but how many of those people started following?
Right. Like,
how many people came back?
What happened after you posted the meme video?
That's right.
Though? Like, and that's, but this is like the other thing where I start saying the only flops are 0, right? The days that you don't post. Mm-hmm. Like, if you post and you only get 100 views a day, by the end of the year, that's a lot of views, and it's a lot more views than if you posted 0 times a bunch of times.
Right. And then it goes back, and I want to extend on the statement of you going like, yeah, you made one video and it made 1 million views, and you kept doing other videos and they weren't, they do okay, but at the end of the day, there was no growth. What are you doing with your content? That it's great, people are watching it, but no one is sticking around to subscribe or follow. You need a, like, and it shows. I watched that guy's content. It was he just got lucky.
And like, that's the thing is like, and that's kind of like the hardest thing to explain to people that are sad that their views are low. If
it happens,
this is the other thing that like gets so far removed. Like, the early TikTok strategy videos were always like, what is up, guys? I'm Robert Benjamin, and you got to use 8 hashtags. You got to post at 3 p.m., 8 p.m., and 9 p.m. You got to use the most trending audios, but they can't be too trending because then you're going to get lost in the sauce. And it's like, none of that has anything to do with work ethic.
None.
Because, again, you can get 100 million views and nothing will happen. And I found this out when I had a video get 12 million views in a day, and you wake up the next day and it's like, okay, got a bunch of views. Is my life different? No.
Where the fuck is my parade, TikTok?
Yeah, do I get the key to the city now? Am I going to get somebody mailing me something that, no, bro, like, it doesn't matter. And like, that's why I almost exclusively watch small creators. Like, I like watching people that have real relationships with their community, that aren't out here getting endorsed by G Fuel. Love G Fuel, but but I like watching creators before the incentive structure to be a creator is there, because you're seeing real human beings grind, bro. That's what motivates me more than anything. And to go back to, why do you post behind the scenes videos? I want people that have been here since day one to see it so that they might be inspired by it. So they'll go like, when the doom and gloom is trying to take over and be like, you're not freaking cool enough, or you're not awesome enough. Like, sure, the last 7 months of me going daily is cool, but it took me 5 years to get here.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
Like, that is 5 years of my life. Like, it's not like it just happened. So I almost like, I post the behind the scenes because I want people to know what I know, so that they have some answers about like, yo, if I use Splice, I'll save 2 hours. If I use CapCut, I'll save 3 hours. I almost quit because of captions. I'm dead serious. Putting captions on in Premiere was taking me 2 hours, and I was like, this is why I'm going to quit. I don't have time to do this.
Yeah.
And CapCut literally changed everything for me. That's why I tell people about it, you know? But yeah, man, like, I don't know, I'm rambling.
No, it's good because because there's a lot of content creators who come to these podcasts because there's always so many different viewpoints that a lot of people have. And I am not a shorts person. Like, I want to be, but I don't have the patience like you and Pat and everyone else who do daily shorts, reels, TikTok uploads. Like, it's not me. And I don't have that. It's just not for me. And that's fine. It's not for everybody. And I much prefer doing the storytelling thing, and I'm getting slowly better at it. But I love watching it. So
bro, you're killing it. Like, you're killing it. Don't downplay it.
I'm trying my best, but that's the thing. You're trying. Like, my inspiration to start my channel was initially for video game content. I was doing playthroughs of Pokemon and stuff on my Switch. I started before the lockdown happened in 2020. So right before the 2020 boom, I was doing this.
Yeah.
But my inspiration was Super Duper Danny. I was watching their content for years. Shining Edith is another one. Original 151.
One of my favorite day one people right there. You're naming all my favorites.
Yeah. Original 151. He also has a different channel now called Nintendo. Shady Penguin, A Drive, a lot of, and Loxin and Noggin. A huge fan of Loxin and Noggin. I love like the historical background and informational videos. That's why I love Metri's channel so much. I just wish Metri would get on this. No, I'm kidding.
Shout out to Metri.
Shout out. I love Metri's channel. The knowledge, like history channel kind of stuff. Love it.
Yeah.
All of them, because when I got out of the Navy, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was drinking all the time. I was just working. I wasn't going to school. And then they were like I would watch all of their content and their live streams, and people like, I want to start a channel. What should I do? And they're just like, do it. That's how I started. Was they were like, just do it. Like, turn on the camera, do some stuff. And Pat says the same thing. And I've seen other people say it. Just do it. You like, if it's cringy in the beginning, it's cringy. If it stays cringy, that's fine. But you're making content that you want to make. And then my wife, in 2019, 2020, she was like, you need to do this. You have so much love for this hobby. Because I never left Pokemon. I've been in it since I was 10 years old.
That's
like
bad,
my
so
wife,
cool.
My wife and I actually played with the sentiment when we started dating in 2009. Like when we moved in with each other, that's what we got starter decks, and I taught her how to play.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, she was like, you need to do it. I'm like, okay, well, what do I want to do? I was like, I don't know my username and this and that. And she was like, just use the same thing you've been using for Pokemon Go and everything else. So that's where my username came from, which I like, because yes, there's a Pokemon connection to it, but it's not Pokegonzo or Gonzo TCG or anything Poke whatever. Like, and I'm not to shit on those guys, but it stands out because, like you said, there's a lot of Alex Ketchums, there's a lot of Alex Hodges, very common names. And if you look at the Pokemon space, there's Poke everything. And if it works, it works, and it's awesome. You know what you're going to do. You know what kind of content you're going to watch from that channel. But now they are stuck with Pokemon content unless they change their name and do a whole rebrand, which is
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So with mine, it's just like, hey, that's that number guy with Gonzo. And I'm like, yep, that's me. Now we're going to do some stuff. Like, DPM raid, what? What do you mean? Fucking John Parker. John Parker, if you do it again, I'm going to be really upset. We're going to have an issue. Just John Parker has done this before, and he made some people in the chat mad, where he's like, DPM raid, and then no raid ever happened. And
That's awesome.
It made some people mad. What's going on, John Parker?
Dude.
And yeah, like I'm okay with the raid not happening because I've been raided before. Pat's a friend. Go raid other people. But there were people in the channel who's never been there for a raid, and they were ready for it, and it never happened, and they got mad. I was like, no, it's fine. It's okay, guys.
Chat's got jokes. Yeah. Shout out to everybody in the chat watching right now. Sorry if this is like way too like content creator focused and not Pokemon focused enough. I actually, I got one of my friends hit me up today, and he asked, how do you keep going? And because this is going to sound melodramatic to people that are not creators, but let's talk about social media, right? We know for fact it's addictive. We know that we're getting dopamine and serotonin hits. We know that when you sit there late at night and you refresh your notifications over and over and over again, trying to get a hit, right? Of that, oh, I got a notification, I got a like, I'm getting kind of high right now, right?
Yeah.
Social media as a platform can almost be a toxic workplace environment. You are getting exposure as a content creator to a lot of mental stuff that is going on. And someone who's trying to post daily right now basically hit me like, how do you move through it? Like, because I'll be real with everybody right now. The hardest part about posting daily is not filming, it's not editing, and it's not script writing. It's dealing with the mental swings of this posted well, this posted not. This post sucked. I'm now on 3 weeks of posts not doing well. Oh God, I'm in the wrong space. Oh God, I'm cringe. And your brain just collapsing on itself.
Yeah.
And that's why the big change that I made when I went daily was I don't count likes, I count uploads. My goal at the end of the day is to practice, because video editing is practice, filming is practice, script writing is practice, posting to Instagram is practice. It's literally like skateboarding, right? You could be at the skate park really trying hard to do a board slide, and it feels really bad, especially when a group of guys comes up and they're all backlipping the rail through the kink first try.
Yeah.
And you're out there like, bro, I look like a clown right now. That is exactly how social media is, where it's like, bro, I'm getting 17 likes on a video and one of the homies is getting like 4,000 a day. Like, I'm clearly embarrassing myself.
Hell no, I get happy for my homies. Like that,
no,
man, that's cool.
That, like, this is why it needs to get reframed, right? Like,
yeah,
you practice that day, and yeah, your board slide may not be at the level that those 5 guys back lip is at, but at least you're out here trying.
Yes.
So every upload, especially one that you worked hard on that you're proud of, where you go, hey, you know what? I'm going to cut out the ums. So instead of being like, you guys, I'm at the Frankenson show, I was at the Frankenson show. And suddenly you sound better. And after a year, you sound really good. And after 2 years, you get a brand deal with eBay, right? It's a process.
That eBay thing, that was awesome. How, before I get to the eBay thing,
yeah,
I do want to jump into what you were saying about script writing. How did you fall into? So I was minding my own business.
It was an accident.
But the accident works. If it works, it works.
This was like when I was really early on going daily, and I wasn't writing scripts yet. Everything I would say I would just talk into my microphone, and I was minding my own business was just something that I said about a video that I'd actually shot like 6 months before with Slim Rips. Shout out to Slim Rips, another guy that works with Pat. And that video, and this is funny, this was at a time, believe it or not, when the number one thing that content creators were saying internally, like all of us were talking about it, like the major creators, the smaller creators, pack openings are dead. Everyone was saying that. You post a pack opening video, it is going to flop. Like, because the views were just going like this for a long time, like 2022, 2023.
They'll watch the intro, they'll skip everything in the middle, and they'll watch the end and go.
For a long time, the consensus among all the biggest creators in Pokemon was pack opening content has fallen off a cliff as a format. And I made a pack opening video, funny enough, with Tag Team Build and Battle Deck. And I started off the video with I was minding my own business at a card show when I saw a tiny box most people might miss. And that video got 700,000 views in a day, backdropped by everyone in the industry saying this content is dead. And I went, if this content is dead, why did this just kill everything I posted for a year? And so at that point, that's where the science of my content started to develop, where I was like, I'm not going to change my script tomorrow because the script works.
Right.
I'm just going to adjust the nouns and the verbs to fit the scenario. And that's where the idea of, in my behind the scenes, I'm constantly talking about making your content a template. That's what makes going daily doable. Because if you're trying to reinvent the wheel every single day on daily content, you will burn out, especially because most of us are adults with jobs and with like responsibilities. You can't just be like, okay, I'm going to write an entire essay on dark Pokemon tonight. It's like, bro, like in what, like 9 hours? You're going to do this every day?
No.
And so my content became simple because simple was working.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome that it came from an accident, because a lot of people are like,
from posting daily though.
Yes. But then you brought up eBay. How did that come to be? Because I remember, I want to say maybe a month or two before that, you made a rant about how content creators need to know their worth, big or small. Don't let a company come in and lowball you for your time, your work, your skills, your video. If you're a content creator, let them know, like, cool, this is like what's everyone else in the market going for right now. Like, yeah, I'm not going to go out there and try to get the same eBay promotion you got for during the summer. I'm not going to try to get an eBay helicopter, because at the end of the day, my worth is not it's not as big as yours, and that's also what we need to keep in check is our egos.
Bro, don't think that hard about it though, because nobody knows who I am, bro. Like, trust me, the follower count that I have right now does not matter, bro. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but I am at an ad agency. I've been here for since 2008, and I know what influencers cost, and I know how to negotiate fair brand deals for influencers because I hire influencers for my own roster of clients.
Right.
So for me, like,
did they contact you, or you contacted them for that?
Oh no, eBay reached out to me. This is so crazy. They were one of the first brand partners I had on TikTok in 2020. So back in 2020, there were far less Pokemon content creators. And my name was basically on a very short list of, we want to be on TikTok. We have collectibles. Who do we call? And so they contacted me super early. And as far as rates go, because what people don't see is all the brands that I turn down, and you can probably imagine some of the brand names of the people that I'm turning down all the time, is eBay actually came fair. And they were like, hey, we want to run an ad with you in it, and we're going to pay you X amount of dollars because your reach is X amount per month, and we feel that's fair. And I said, hey, I'm not listening to you as an influencer, but I'm listening to you as an ad agency, and what you're saying is very honest and very cool. And at that point, I was like, I let my guard down a little bit, and I was like, okay, let's work with eBay. And we have now been working with them for 4.5 years. And
that's awesome.
And here's something that I would also plant the flag on with smaller creators or people that feel small, right? Because I'm still a small creator. Reliability with brand deals beats fame. My eBay deal has been as serious, and as it keeps happening, I keep getting put in videos because I respond to emails in 30 minutes, because I respond to problems with suggestions, because I don't go out on some diva shit that's like, yo, my rider better be $1,000. Like, I'm there to work, not to be an influencer. And brands notice that shit. And influencers get so caught up in their own sauce that they sabotage really good money because they respond 3 days late. They go, oh, well, I can't really do that because my boop boop. And it's like, okay, now you're mad they're not calling you back? Like, no one wants to, no one in the world wants to not forget eBay. No one, period, whether you want to be a host at TGI Fridays, wants to work with personality types that are slow to respond, that don't deliver on time, that make a big deal out of everything. Like, I'm
The
not more famous.
professionalism.
Like, I'm not more famous than anybody that's worked with eBay in the past, but I am a whole lot easier to work with than a lot of people in the Pokemon space.
I wouldn't doubt it, because the professionalism is what they want as a company, because they can trust you. If they can,
and they're on
trust you,
deadlines. Like,
yeah,
companies are on
just like we
deadlines
are.
that are insane, and they're like not trying to be like, oh man, we have another hang up with XYZ because because they're doing some big influencer thing. You know what I mean? Like, reliability can like, eBay's too big to be working with me. Let's just put it all out there. The reason that I have this opportunity is because I make it very easy for them to work with me. And that's not about clout. That's not about video views. That's just about reliability, which is like a thing brands want.
Zook wants to say, I want to thank you both for all the content you produce.
Thanks, bro.
I do it for you, Zook. Like, I'm having fun with it, but at the end of the day, like, a lot of it is for me, I like to do it because it's fun, but I like it that it does have that serotonin effect that somebody likes the content. So I do it for you guys.
Appreciate it. Shout out to everybody. Dude, What You Pull is in here. What You Pull gave me the most thoughtful gift of all time, and that guy will forever be my goat for that. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, he was he live I don't know if he lives in this area, but he lives close enough where he comes down to a lot of the trade nights and trade shows. Yeah, What You Pull is he's good dude. Treats the people with respect, and that, for me, that goes miles if you treat everyone with the respect that they deserve as a person, because I very much grew up like a lot of people did. Treat those how you want to be treated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, and also, you never know who you could be talking to.
Right. Yeah. And it goes back to the guy who was trying to shit on you and Pat. Like, he blocked you, but then Pat did something, and he's like, "Oh, okay, well, no, you take my money in the live chat." I don't want to burn bridges, because that person could be the next Pat, could be the next Pokerev, could be the next Cool Trainer Ryan, could be the next Alex. Like, you don't know who you were talking to that potentially could blow up. You want just do that.
And also, like, it's because I'm 37, right? Like, I've been thinking about social media at a high level for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I am tempted at this point in my life, and I'm not trying to sound like holier than thou or like a white knight or whatever the fuck, but like, it is so much healthier when you want to talk shit on someone to instead redirect and go leave a positive comment on your homie's video.
Yeah.
Because, like, every hate comment you're leaving is fucking up your digital footprint, one, and two, it's a compliment you're not paying someone you respect. Because people aren't checking at the end of the day, like, yo, how supportive was I today? They'll just be like, oh, dog, I clowned on that person so hard. Meanwhile, their friends are over here trying to build a channel. They don't feel seen. They don't feel like anyone appreciates the shit that they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have this ecosystem of people being bullied and no one being complimented. So, like, I know it sounds crazy to preach like this, bro, but, like, I really will not, like, leave hate comments anymore. Like, I'm just on some shit where, like, if I don't like Carrot Top's stand-up, I'm not going to be like, haha, Carrot Top, you fucking joke. I'm going to go somewhere else, and I'm going to be like, yo, this post is amazing. Congrats on the poll. Like, it's just so much better, bro.
It's the same thing with responding to the hate comments or negative comments too. Like, a perfect example would be the one that happened on your community tab, where I was like, hey, that's awesome. Like, I would like to see this happen again, but maybe not such an expensive set, talking about the tag team.
Yeah.
And before I went, because I was like, all right, like, let me just be short with them. I responded? Probably not. But at the end of the day, I was like, all right, let me find out if you know who he is, because let's see if he's one of your friends or a regular. And you're like, no. And I was like, all right, I'm about to go scorched earth on this asshole, because he was kind of being a dick. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, always.
No, like, I'm going to come back with, like, yeah, man, you're being kind of negative. So I'm not going to be super wordy with you. But yeah, a lot of I do have great conversations with my friends and family. Thank you for asking. Like, speaking of conversations, Alex is about to come on the podcast. Shameless plug, come check it out.
Beautiful, man.
And of course, that dude who's like, you know what? I don't want to respond anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he deleted some of his comments that he wrote to me. So that just goes to show, like, sometimes being the bigger person doesn't feel the greatest, but it is the best thing for you, especially as a content creator where you have to save face for things.
Honestly, too, man, like I'll tell you right now, I've finally gotten to a point where hate comments have the opposite effect. And I thought that this was like a fake thing that big influencers said, and when in reality they would like cry in their rooms. Like you really do get to a point where you start understanding that opposition means that your videos are being pushed to people outside of your network, which means the algorithms are actually treating you well.
Yeah.
When you start getting pushed in front of people that do not follow you, that's actually the desired result. And yes, no one is going to like 100% of the stuff that you do.
Yeah,
so
but no one that happens.
So ultimately, it's like if I have videos where there's like no hate, I'm just like, oh, dude, this video's not going anywhere. It's like
no.
I'm never going to go out of my way to be like the Island Boys and like go out of my way to piss people off or to say things that aggravate people.
You don't want to kiss the homies?
But they're definitely like, there is a feeling once you get like later into like the content creator like funnel where like when you see like within the first 10 minutes someone's like, oh, fucking resealed or like whatever they say, I'm like, yes, it's getting out there.
It's getting out there. We have another question from the Q&A side from Professor Metri. I know this is going to be read way later, but when you were talking about feeling icky, does it matter when the general public thinks when you in your heart know the way and how behind your content?
I think I know what he's saying. Like, and I
okay,
appreciate
good,
that.
I had a stroke reading it.
No, I appreciate the idea that the core community understood where I was coming from and that it wasn't me just lighting money on fire. That said, there's a component to it where I think about waste, especially with how much I already spend on Pokemon. And I think I found my threshold for waste with that series, where I just the positives just did not meet where the negatives were. And that's kind of like, there could be series that happen over the course of weeks. I'm actually thinking about breaking out Prismatic Evolutions into something similar to Tag Team Tuesdays. But that's a lot less of a financial toll. And the EV or the expected value for those boxes is far better than Tag Team Tuesday. So yeah.
Thank you for subscribing, Chloe. We have a question from Kev the Poke Ghost. Is there a thing as posting too much content too quickly a bad thing? I don't think so.
I describe this as user fatigue, right? There's a concern where I was minding my own business. Like, bro, like, can you not? Like, 100% user fatigue is the thing. But here's the funny thing about algorithms. They're not showing your content to your followers.
No.
That is the truth. My content is distributed 89% to new people that the algorithm has said, hey, they like stuff like Pokemon or stuff in a lane over from that. And they want to see content just like yours. So at the end of the month, I'm really lucky if 15% of my own followers have seen my videos. So user fatigue 100% is a concern. It's especially a concern if your content isn't measured. And what I mean by that is if you don't have a strategy for going daily and you go daily and you, let's call it what it is. If you shit post, going daily will not benefit you.
No, there needs to be a meaning behind your post.
There has to be, like, no different than like when people go on American Idol and they're like, my heart will go on. It's like, if you post that daily, you will not get bigger as a singer. Like, you have to hit a certain threshold of time, practice. But bro, watch this. No one's going to want to do this because like it would be like annoying to have to do it. Go back to my first TikTok videos 4.5 years ago and watch those videos. You're gonna be like, yikes. What
am I signed in on TikTok on my desktop?
This is so bad. You're gonna be like, this is so bad. It took me 4 years of practicing to get to a point where going daily wasn't a bad thing. So I think in the beginning, if you're brand new as a creator and you want to figure out how to go daily, start with different types of videos. Maybe make yourself an attainable goal, like 5 videos a month. See which ones work. And then from there, once you have like a working video, make more of that.
Yeah.
And see if that works. And then you can scale to daily ultimately.
Yeah, that I would agree with that. If you're doing daily posting, it's clearly working. Powder, you, Pat, we've talked about all of them so much, and I don't think that's content too quickly. I don't, not unless you're doing like, there's some people doing like 5 to 6 videos a day for shorts and real content. That's when I think it starts being a bad thing, because again, like you said, it's probably shit content. It's probably just like, oh, I had a thought, here it is. And I think that's where it becomes that's where it becomes a bad thing.
Yeah,
I know
really,
words.
it's really the product, man. Like if you think about videos like products, like what I had a homie hit me up the other day, and he's been one of my TikTok day ones for a really long time. And he said, going daily doesn't work, Alex. I only got 148,000 views last year. And I said, 148,000 views is a lot more than 0. And then I said, B, I just watched 4 videos. And it's you in your car with a dirty lens talking about the hobby. Like, if you look at what works, right? Like at some point you have to have a starting point. And if you're looking at what's working, the content that you'd like your content to resemble, but your content doesn't look like theirs, it doesn't sound like theirs, it doesn't feel like theirs, you're going, and fucking like,
yeah,
dude, like of course it's not
well,
gonna
what's the point
off.
of hitting record if you're just gonna say for 30 seconds?
Prismatic evolutions, and it's like at some point we as adults, and even kids that are growing up in the content creation lane, there has to be the reality check of this shit is competitive as fuck.
Yeah,
it's so competitive, bro. Like anyone can pick up an iPhone and become a creator. So ultimately, if your video in the car being like, I guess this prismatic evolutions thing's coming, like if that's not working, try something else.
Yeah, and if that's your statement is, I guess it's coming, it's not going to work. If it sounds like you're questioning yourself, the audience is going to question you.
Yes.
You need that. This is happening, guys. It is coming. It's coming quick. There's a boom again, and that's what it is. You need to have that power stance of your words. You're like, yeah, so my favorite card is going to be Umbreon from Prismatic Evolution. I think it's going to be a cool card. People are like, great, who fucking cares? But if you come in there hot, like Umbreon, guys, that card is fucking awesome. They're gonna know your passion. So that's how I feel about a lot of that stuff. Your tone of voice and everything.
This is my biggest thing with a lot of creators that I've spoken to. That gets frustrating for me because I see so much raw potential in so many people in our space. Because again, I literally, as a career, hire influencers and connect them to brands. I'm like in a very weird situation where I get to see all sides of the problem.
Yeah.
There's so many people that have potential, but when you tell them the updates they need to make to take it a step further and surpass, they get offended. And like, it's like on some shit where it's like, well, I'm just going to be me and fuck anyone who says that me being me isn't good enough. And it's like, I get self-love.
That's not what you said.
I get self-love 100%. And I appreciate people that have confidence because I lack it. But like at a certain point, you have to understand if you want to fit into that box, you kind of have to conform because at the end of the day, like we're working to be like this. Like everyone's kind of having to work to get bigger. Like it's not natural. You're not God's favorite. Like it's not just going to be like, yo guys, hopped on here again, banger video, billion views later. Like, that's not how it works for anybody. Dude,
No.
this is the thing about PokeRev. Nick is working so fucking hard, and people will go, oh, he just opens packs and he fucks around. Nick is working so hard to scale that channel. Like it's on his work ethic is unreal. And there's a reason why he's like number one. You know what I mean? So people can agree with like his buying and selling strategies or whatever branding opportunities he takes, but you cannot argue with the fact that he's probably working fucking harder than 90% of people.
Oh, absolutely. For a channel that size and for the stuff he is opening, he is doing. He's going to conventions a lot more often now. You can see that for every time someone posts something on Instagram, like, "Oh, I saw PokeRev at this shop in New Jersey," or
this. He doesn't do rip and ships, right? He's just getting paid purely off views.
Yeah, now it's just views. He doesn't do ripping. He does rip and ships occasionally. I think the last one he did was at Base Set Box a couple months ago, maybe during the summer.
Damn, I missed that. But yeah, like ultimately, like I just, and this is like one of the biggest takeaways I think I've had from going daily, and just, and one of the beauties of going daily, just for anybody that's watching that's considering it, it's really easy to miss the problems you have with your content unless you look at the problem every single day. Yeah. I look at my problems every single day. And because I'm constantly living in the solving mindset of like, how do I get 27% watched full video to 40%? That's a real problem to solve. When you think about it daily, it's a lot different than when you think about it 4 times a week and you're distracted and you're playing Apex Legends and you're running around like drinking. And bro, I'm telling you, like the level of focus that you have to actually figure out the problems with your content and to figure out it's not that it's random, but that your content's underperforming, it takes dedication, bro. Like it's a lot.
The other thing that we can talk about the daily uploads, especially for even if it's long form content like Rev does, he does daily uploads, but it's not the same as yours and Pat's and Powder's.
Yeah,
it's a big thing a lot of people need to consider. And Shiny Vert learned this lesson the hard way when he was doing a 30-day challenge. He thought you guys were doing, all right, I'm going to record and then I'm going to edit daily. He didn't know you guys were doing bulk recordings and then doing all the edits so you can have a week or two of just like, all right, cool, it's uploaded, it's scheduled, it's ready to go off, and then you can have that downtime. Because he was doing it the opposite. He was like, oh man, it's 10 o'clock at night, I need to bang this out really quick and get it in within 2 hours so I can meet that deadline. And like that, bulk recordings are amazing. I did them all the time when I was doing
edit my videos every day. When I get off this call, I will edit my video for the day. Yeah. But bulk recording, 100%, bro. You cannot be like doing the film and the edit because that's like 4 hours a day at that point. Yeah. That's a lot. And like it's different for me because I'm a dad and I run a company. So like I don't have the energy and the bandwidth, you know what I mean?
Chris, I got into the chat just to hear Gonzo say banging it out. Of course he did. Yeah, bulk recordings is where it's at. Doesn't matter what your content is. If you can bulk record a couple of shorts and TikToks and reels, whatever platform you want to do it on, record 2 to 3 things within that time span. Change your shirt if you need to.
Yeah.
And just to make it look like it's a different day. And then edit as like you do. Edit as you need to go, or do all the edits when you have the time and just schedule them and they'll be done. That's what Pat did when he went on vacation to Japan.
Pat's innovating right now, dude. His workflow is diabolical right now. It's so cool.
Yeah. Kev the PokeGo says, just started bulk recording, life-changing to work on edits during the week while I'm working versus all at one time. Yeah.
And I'm telling you guys, like, do not sleep on editing on your phone, because so many people like look at me side-eyed when I tell them about Splice and when I tell them about CapCut, but like it's so value, bro. Like I shoot on my phone, then I edit on my phone, and then it's up on the internet within an hour and a half. And my graphs are ridiculous right now, dude. Like it's really possible to have a high impact workflow with short form where you never get off your phone. Because, dude, transferring clips to my computer for a long time was a slowdown point. That was just another point in the journey where I was slowing down. And suddenly editing is taking 5 hours, 6 hours. Like, yeah, man, like there's ways to hack it, bro.
Professor Metry has another question in the Q&A side. Again, if you guys want to ask us some questions, and we will get to them faster than if they were in the actual chat, go click on the Q&A at the top. But Metry says, a lot of questions, but do you have any plans to evolve the content you make, i.e. streams, long form, short series, collabs?
2025 is the year of long form. And then if I can get infrastructure put up with editing, maybe 2 shorts a day. So, and then live streams potentially as well, because live streaming's the future, man. Like,
yeah,
I really is. Like, when you see what's happening with Kai Cenat right now, Aiden Ross, I mean, Aiden Ross is not my favorite dude, but like, when you just look at the clout, let's call it the cloutometer of a Kai Cenat speed, I mean, like, they're like the Kardashians are showing up at their facilities. Like,
yeah,
they are A-tier entertainers at this point. And like, we're not really like Mr. Beast obviously is Mr. Beast, but who's number 2? Who's number 3? Who's number 4? Who's number 5? I don't think anybody really knows, but we know who Kai Cenat is. We know who Speed is.
Yeah.
We know who. There's a weird shift happening right now with short form content and with live streaming. There's a very interesting evolution happening in content consumption.
Absolutely. Elliot does Pokemon wants to know, how is CapCut on the phone compared to the computer?
I've never used it on the computer before, but I'm assuming it's pretty easy from an interface standpoint. I like editing on my thumbs, bro, because low key, when you have all those keys on like a keyboard, right? And you're like spread out and you've got your mouse and you've got all this stuff. If you're trimming everything on here, blit, drag this on, like, you will hack. Like, it will take me 15 minutes to edit tonight's video. The longest part of it will be me rewriting the script and recording my voice and adjusting audio levels. But in terms of actually sequencing the unboxing I did, it's going to be like 15 minutes with my thumbs.
Yeah. And then we have the last question we have in the Q&A side before there's some more questions. Doesn't mean the stream is ending, just saying this is the last one in the list for now. From Zook909, Alex, will you ever give up the secret target location?
Bro, the secret target location is under wraps like Fort Knox. Like, my wife doesn't even know where the secret target is. My grandmother was like, Alex, tell me where the secret target is. I'm like, Grandma, never. Like,
every once in a while, I'll see someone in the comments, but like, I think it's this one over here in Long Beach or Anaheim or LA.
Nah, bro. Yeah. I found the GOAT fake, doesn't even exist, Southern California city target, bro, where I just walk in and it's just like every single time, it's like no one even knows Pokemon exists in there. It's beautiful.
No, mine is terrible. The one right down the street from my house, it's constantly getting scalped. It's bad.
No, it's getting bad out here again. Like, it's starting to feel, dude, I'm waiting. I'm predicting this now. We will have actual fight videos happening again when Prismatic drops.
Oh, absolutely. It's already happening. Yeah. Like, Nick already covered one. Opossum Nick, not Rev Nick. He covered the one in Target just for the Black Friday sale.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's not going to surprise me at all when that comes out.
I ran into the restocker 3 weeks ago and I told her, I was like, I'm just letting you know in advance.
Yeah.
That when Prismatic Evolutions drops, it's going to be a nightmare again.
Yeah, she's going to have some stalkers, which is going to be scary.
Yup. Stalkers have stalkers. That's funny.
Yeah, exactly. Let me take that off really quick. So I'm just here minding my own business, talking to you. I'm going to open up this 3-pack blister.
Bro,
that somehow the promo fell behind the card.
Nice.
But we're going to have Surging Sparks. If we get the Pikachu on this, I will
table flip no pressure,
everything.
Bro.
I pulled the Japanese one. I've opened so much of this set. I'm having so much fun with Surging Sparks right now.
Great set, man. It really is.
How do you feel about the modern Scarlet and Violet set at the moment?
Scarlet and Violet block is going to be like, if I was a smart, like, actual investor kind of Pokemon type collector, I would have 10 cases of every single Scarlet and Violet set and just put it in a warehouse. Because this set, from an illustration standpoint and from an execution standpoint, this era is top tier.
Yeah, even these regular common cards and uncommon cards, the art it's hitting different. Like, look at this mouthful.
The freedom that illustrators got to really create worlds. If you look at the Drowsy illustration rare, or maybe that was a gallery rare, like the Galarian Articuno alt art, this block is iconic. I truly mean that. Like, I love Sword and Shield, don't get me wrong, but Sword and Shield base is so mid to open, bro.
Yeah. So Sword and Shield it started out rough.
But I would say that like a Miriam SIR is going to age incredibly well, is my opinion.
I think so too. I didn't know Gonzo was such a chill guy. Me either. I didn't know that either.
Yo, Milotic. Chat, are you guys Milotics or Milotics?
I'm Milotic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt my feelings when people, well, depending on the Pokemon's like actual origin, how bad it butchers it. I normally don't care how people pronounce the Pokemon name.
Oh my gosh, dude. I actually had such a funny moment where people tried to roast me for how I pronounced Naganadel. And I'm like, you understand that is literally how they say it on the show, right?
Yeah, I for some reason I just go Naganadel.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
no, it sounds so goofy to say it the right way.
Yeah. But I love Naganadel. It's one of my favorite. It probably is my favorite Ultra Beast.
Go. Pull it.
Oh, got the gold stretcher. I'll take the gold. Oh, that wasn't even in the rare slot.
Gold stretcher is actually good too. That's a good card.
I'll take a gold. I haven't pulled a gold Pokemon.
Wait, did you really just pull a secret rare from a freaking blister?
3-pack,
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's actually insane.
Oh, something went wrong on my side.
Wow. Where's Rock? Oh my god.
Yeah. Gold, baby. That's playable, says Kev.
That is playable, bro.
This is my second one I pulled, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh yeah, dude. Stretcher with the Fezandipity. The game is in such a toxic place right now, dude. Oh my god. I
was actually having a giant argument with somebody in a Discord that he comes into the chat every once in a while, and it was a conversation about Pokemon Pocket and Pokemon TCG and how Pokemon Pocket, the first week they made the first 2 days, I think it was reported they made like $14 million.
They're making $7 million a day right now.
Yeah. And it came up as like, just like the demographic, like the demographics are wrong on the YouTube thing. And I was like, dude, the kid, like, it's not kids playing this game. It's grown ass adults, collectors, and everyone else putting money into it. Like, just look at all the content creators. Like, I'm spending $100 on this video. Yeah. That's just for that video. Think about all the money they spent off camera.
Yep.
And he had the conversation of, no, the TCG's dying. This is kids using their parents' credit card. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Kids are not. I would beat this. Don't get me. I never have beaten my child, and I won't beat him. But at 9 years old, if he's taking my debit card or credit card to buy Pokemon cards on an app he can't touch, and if he gets bored, it just goes away, I'm gonna fight my son. Like, there's not like he's gonna put up those hands.
Wait, we absolutely have to talk about that analysis because it was the first question I got asked for us to talk about. Why is Pokemon blowing up again in 2024? Because it is so obvious when you actually zoom out what is going on right now. So 2016, this little app called Pokemon Go drops right around XY Evolutions.
Yes.
And what happens is you can actually Google this now. The Google graph for long-term search engine optimization, the trend goes like this. And all of a sudden, everyone in the world is Googling Pokemon because of Pokemon Go reigniting a bunch of old fans, capturing a bunch of new fans. What is happening in 2024? We just got Pokemon Pocket, and we have a Chase Pikachu in a modern set right before an Eevee set comes out. So
you forgot about a huge factor, 151.
No, and 151, piggybacking 151. So
it's just like, all right, here's 151, spike. Here's a Chase Pikachu, another spike. Oh yeah, I heard you guys like Eevee and Evolutions, spike. Oh no, wait, then the game. Oh my god, the game was hyped too before it even came out.
But this is what like people think it's a 1-to-1, right? Like, oh, if a guy buys one pack of Pokemon Pocket, he will not buy a physical pack. What they don't realize is that people are getting packs digitally and then getting the itch to get one physically. I'm literally talking to people at shows that are like, oh, bro, I'm here because I just started playing Pokemon Pocket, and so I wanted to see what was in store. This is discovery, bro. Like, we are taking everyone on the App Store and exposing them to Pokemon cards. Like, people that are super deep into Pokemon think like, oh, everyone in the world knows about Pokemon cards and they always pass by them and they don't want them. It's like, no, like they have to get reminded. And when they get reminded, they buy them again. So no, Pokemon sales over the next at least 6 months are going to be ridiculous.
It's going to be insane. Like, because we haven't seen a specialty set like this jump up to $70 to $80 a box in a very long time.
Bro, this is I haven't spent this much on a modern Pokemon set ever, and it's not even out yet.
I still haven't bought. I have Terrestrial Festival. That's it. I haven't done any pre-orders for Prismatic.
Yeah,
it's not for a lack of trying, but I'm very fortunate not to have the oh shit like the itch FOMO. Like I'm glad I don't have that, because I know some people that are like, man, I just spent $200 on a PC ETB on eBay. I'm like, you're dumb. you're a dumb person. Like, but if you need it that bad, I guess so. I highly believe that this set is going to be printed so heavy, so hard that I will have no problem getting it at retail.
Well, it always comes back to this, right? Evolutions was printed into the ground so bad that in 2019, I was buying boxes for $85 off Amazon.
Yeah.
And they were giving the packs away as gifts at Dave & Buster's, which is how I got back into Pokemon to begin with.
Yeah, I remember in 2020 when I was first starting, people like now, if you go into Frankenstein's and you're like, hey, I want that box. Oh, it's cool. It's $130. Why? Oh, there's 2 evolutions in it. Like, I remember when I first not got into it, but before the pandemic happened, evolutions got hyped up. Those boxes were on clearance. I was getting them at
GameStop. They were all on clearance.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I do think that there's going to be another set like that. Evolving Skies is already that set. I don't see that one going down anytime soon.
No, Evolving Skies is.
I think it's at where it's going to be at for the rest of its lifespan.
This is what's happening too, and I hate to say this, but you probably noticed this too, that set sizes started increasing dramatically in Sword and Shield to where all of a sudden there's 268, 282, 300 card sets.
Yeah, I think the lowest one now is like what, 225?
And Pokemon is doing this because ultimately they're only seeding those big high rarity chase pulls one every 10,000 times. Yeah. And they get to hide behind the large set size so that people don't catch a whiff of like what's actually going on.
Yeah. Surging Sparks is 252. Stellar Crown's actually pretty small for especially what we were just talking about. They're 177. What else is I know Paldean Evolved is a huge one. 193 plus 86, that's like another 270 set. Like these are huge sets.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's part of the game. What makes okay, so if a box price is determined on the ceiling of expected value, aka Umbreon in a PSA 10 is dictating why an Evolving Skies box is so much.
Mm-hmm.
And if Umbreon stays difficult to pull, then Evolving Skies as a box long term, yeah, it's not getting cheaper.
Yeah. No, exactly. And that, I guess that leads into a good question, a good lead into the next Q&A question from Top Champion Dog Owner. If y'all could pick one Pokemon card set with one, what one would it be? So I'm the way I'm reading is if you can pick a set to master set or just open to open, what set would it be?
I feel like my answers are going to be the same. I almost want to write mine down on a piece of paper right now so you don't think that I copied you. Hold on. I'm going to put this in my notes really quick.
Okay.
Just in case we say the same thing.
I'm going to go with 3 different answers for the time frame of Pokemon. I'm going to go with a vintage set, a set in the middle, and then a modern set, which to me modern is Sun and Moon to now.
Okay, one set. I'm almost done. I want it because if we get the same ones, it's just going to be like a crazy broski moment.
Probably.
Ooh. Oh, God. This sucks. We're doing 3, right? 1 is really hard. I've got a solid number 1, but like, if we're doing 3, yeah, okay.
All right. My modern set that I would go for is not modern set. My vintage set from WotC era is going to be Team Rocket.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
What was yours?
Legendary Collection and Neo Destiny were for those.
Those are solid. Those are solid questions. Those are solid picks for sure. I just have a Team Rocket's one of my favorite sets of all time.
Yeah.
Then for the mid vintage, mid modern sets like Black and White, X and Y, I'm going with. I just had it in my head. It's Black and White Legendary Treasures, I think. I'm gonna go with Legendary Treasures. And then the modern ones are gonna be hard because Unified Minds is my favorite set from one of my favorite sets from Sun and Moon. Shining Legends. I really love Surging Sparks right now. But I think I'm gonna go with Unified Minds for my modern set.
That's my favorite chase card from all of Sun and Moon. I'm going with Hidden Fates just because that set literally changed my life.
I love Hidden Fates. I have the tins in my sealed collection, and that's it. Everything, nothing else stayed sealed. I remember during the pandemic or probably late end of it, when Hidden Fates started to skyrocket when it went from like $50 to $200 for an ETB.
Yeah.
I went to one of my local card stores where they banned me for a while because of this incident.
Oh, God.
I went in, I was like, hey, how much for that ETB? They're like, oh, $300. I was like, you fucking high? Banned. I questioned that shit so hard. They're get out. I was like, okay, that's fine.
Dude, 300 even at the peak of Hidden Fates is crazy.
Yeah, for an ETB.
Dog, that's insane, especially because at that point, distributors weren't really overcharging like that yet. Distributors knew what they had, but it wasn't like it is today.
Yeah, nothing like that. Chris Pye says, I love Ultra Prism 2 and Hidden Fates brought me back into Pokemon. New set battle partners will be small, journey together, which will be good to help calm the storm a hair, I think. Is that already what the new set's called for the next one? I don't know what he means by that. What do you pull? Says, got to go, guys. Really enjoyed the live. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. You stopped by and hung out with the chat for a little bit. Yeah. Kev the Pokeghost, I think he's talking about like if your kid used your credit card or debit card to buy cards, I would flip and my son would know terror. Yeah, I would agree with that. Are you willing to you know what? Let's not talk about the future because you already talked about 2025 and how you do have some plans to change. Let's talk about an event that changed. I know it changed my career for the better. I know you've got a lot of love from it. let's talk about Card Party for a second.
Cool.
Are you going to both of them, or are you just going to one? What's the deal for next year?
If everyone's health is good and business is at a place where I can leave my partner and my people behind for a couple days, I plan on going to both.
That's awesome. Here are the dates for that one. There is a holiday sale if you guys haven't gotten it yet. Card Party, June 27th through the 29th, October 3rd through the 5th. I normally bring my family to both, not to both of them, to it. But my wife was just saying the other night, we've already been to Florida, and we have a 2-year-old now. Traveling is difficult with a 2-year-old. So it will probably just be me in Florida as of right now. And then in Washington, they'll probably come up, and we might make a road trip out of it, actually. So that's what she wants to do. So I'm excited for that. Man. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know if Pat wants me to talk about some stuff. Have you, that one I'll talk offline about to see what's going on with all of that. But how was your first experience at Card Party 2024, the first, or 2023, the first edition? Because you were a feature creator for that one as well.
Card Party, to back up, like to that point in time, cards at that point in 2022 and 2023, I feel like had become such a buy-sell trade emphasizing place where almost all the magic felt like it had evaporated. Like, you'd go to Collecticon, you'd see the same 40 people. Everyone is like mad at the other guy. This guy's trying to sell the thing he's always trying to sell. That guy's trying to buy the thing he's always trying to buy. There was just like a complete depletion of anything but business. It all, like, even the content creators, it just felt like everybody's like, where's my check? Like, what are we doing here? What do I have to show? Oh, this voice actor's here. Great. Oh, he's a jerk. Like, it just felt so robotic. And Card Party was crazy because the energy shift almost immediately from the way that you got greeted, the way that you got emailed, the way that everyone participated. The average age of the attendance at the show was like 12. And it's not that Card Party 1 was super sophisticated. It was actually a lot smaller than a lot of events that I do. But the thing about it that Pat did was he made it summer camp. And like, I'm here for summer camp, dude. Like, if I was trying to do business, I'd just focus on my office over here. Like, I'm in this hobby because it's cathartic, it's rewarding, it's the thing that I enjoy doing. And Card Party as an event was like the first non-soul sucking event that I had done in literally years, which is why I flew out to Florida to do number 2.
Yeah. How was there a difference in experience that you would say happened from 1 to 2?
Yeah, I mean, obviously 2 is a whole lot more sophisticated than number 1.
It was a lot bigger too.
Not to say that number 1 lacked refinement, because it was super well organized. They took care of everybody. But, you know, number 2, I think you started to see what could become of the, like, I kind of picture Card Party not being like a competitor to Collecticon. I picture Card Party being almost like a TwitchCon, bro, where it's like, obviously it's not an app, it's not a live streaming service, but what it has is like a bunch of like creators. And do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's definitely a difference between a Collecticon and TwitchCon, and Card Party feels more like a TwitchCon than a Collecticon, if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense to me, because Collecticon, a lot of people are like, oh no, it's just another Pokemon convention. And that's where I'm like, well, you've never been to a Collecticon then, because there's live performances, there's voice actors, there's actors, there's vendors that are not Pokemon there. There's Funkos is a huge thing there because of the autograph signatures that are going on. PSA was there this year at Card Party, so is CGC, but Beckett is usually at Collecticon. Collecticon is so much bigger than just Pokemon, but because of the space that you are in, you're seeing more Pokemon content from Collecticon because that's what you want to see. If you're doing Hot Wheels, Star Wars, or anything else, you would see
video
that stuff there
games.
too. Yeah, video games. Yeah, because when I went there and when it was in Long Beach, there was all kinds of shit going on, and I just let. And that year was the first card party, so I felt like very much like you, like this. It's not as fun. Like I like the summer camp feel of it. Like, hey, these are my friends. I didn't get like these are people I actually want to see. Collecticon, I got to hang out with my friends again. I got to do some stuff, but overall, there's just, oh, let me look at this set. Let me look at, oh, that's cool. And overall, card party vendors were a lot more easier to deal with, and they were much more willing to negotiate. But I'm not shitting on the Collecticon vendors because I know one or two of them that go to all the time. You got to remember they're in multiple states a year for
sure.
Yeah. So you got to remember they have to cover that cost and make up for it for traveling on an airplane or on a bus or in anything like that.
Inventory.
So I understand. Yeah, the inventory. So I understand why some of them didn't want to negotiate, but the attitude towards negotiation there is very much different.
No, like there's a space for Collecticon 1,000%. And because I'm not a big buyer, seller, flipper, dipper, like Collecticon in that sense doesn't really speak to me. And I'm not saying I don't enjoy Collecticon. It's great. I talked to Dan Green, who's the voice of God, is it Kaiba and Brock?
Yeah.
And that could only happen because Collecticon set that up, and that was really cool. That said, everyone's energy at Collecticon is I want to get the thing I came for and get the hell out of here. And the energy at Card Party is, is it Sunday already?
Yeah.
Oh, dang, this weekend flew. Like,
yeah, even for the content
end.
creators, it's like, hey, I like when Nick and I made our content, like you popped in and you're like, we're like, hey, yeah, come hang out. I don't give a shit. Like, say what you got to say. Like, this is pod racing, right? But if you go to Collecticon, if you accidentally step into someone's shot, it's done. It's over. Like, you fucking ruined it. I'm like, hey, my bad. You're at a convention. There's not a whole lot of walking space, and now you want me to walk around 13 different people. It is a very much different vibe for a lot of things. I still enjoyed Collecticon. I do plan on going to the LA one with my buddy Nick. Nick is going to fly out from where he stays. We're going to meet up in San Diego.
Sick.
Yeah.
Let me know when you guys go.
We're going to the LA one, so I will pull it up right now. So yeah, he and I were just texting each other the other day about it because we want to plan it now so we can get a good room and a good rate. It is. Can I buy my tickets already? It is March 1st and March 2nd. So he's probably going to fly out February the night before on Friday. Nice. We'll drive up to LA and then we'll probably drive back down Monday. So yeah, we'll be up there. If you want us to pick you up on the way up, we can. We'll make it.
We just got to go get Benihana's or take advantage of the fact that we'll all be out here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, maybe we should take his little ass to Frankenson's, get him lost.
Wait, that would be so legendary to bring him.
Yeah.
No, we have to.
Get him the little toddler backpack where it has a leash.
I can't co-sign that diss, bro.
No invite is crazy, says Britt. Britt, you know you're always invited.
Britt, you're 1,000% invited.
Yeah, Britt Day Cake sightings, 4,647. Yeah. No, did you when you with your kids, did you ever have those squeaky shoes when they started running and walking all over the place?
No.
They're so awesome. When my eldest was like 1 or 2 and he started running all over the place, we went to Disneyland when we saw the annual passes. Yeah. So having that and like because I hate those leash backpacks. I just think I was like, oh man, it's so dumb. Like I'd rather annoy people with squeaky shoes because most people at Disneyland like, oh, that's adorable. And then but like if you're at a mall, like, all right, dude, like I get it. But it's nice because you can hear the little footsteps.
That's awesome.
It's so funny. But yeah, we'll definitely plan something for Collecticon. Do you have what are your plans for Card Party right now? Do you know if you're going to make content or if you're just going to be like, hey, if there's content going on, I'll be in it?
I mean, it's like hard to say what we're cooking right now because like I don't want to like say things I'm not allowed to say yet, but I think that.
Oh, you're talking about like working out stuff with Pat. I was talking about like for your own personal stuff.
Personal content, dude.
Yeah.
The joke of it is, I've never actually made a card party video yet. I'm such a fake friend, bro.
No, that's good. That's awesome. Because at least when it actually happens, people are gonna like, finally.
And
it took me months to
like, bro,
get mine out.
Hear me out. Like, it's really easy for me to kind of condense my thoughts on different events because so many of them do not resonate with me, like in a way where it's hard to summarize my thoughts on them.
Yeah.
The one time I made a big deal about an event that I went to was Anime Expo 2023 because I was concerned that there could literally be a stampede that ended people's lives. Like,
oh, you're talking. No, I thought it was this year. You made a big deal about last year's event.
Because like,
because
yeah,
because last year was such a shit show. Like
this is the problem with Anime Expo in general is they are so glacial to move because it's so corporate and so decentralized from a leadership standpoint and international that they don't actually manage it the way that you actually have to manage an event with as many people as Coachella going to it inside a small building.
Yeah, I don't understand why they just don't do a limit.
It's bro, I had staff. I was watching staff not wave people in. So you have the risk of someone bringing in a weapon. Then I'm watching an entire hallway so crowded to where you could not move a foot. And like, then I saw other people's camera angles and I'm like, oh, nah, that wasn't in my head. This was actually an emergency. And that's why I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to make an Anime Expo video. But like, I need to make a card party video because it's so magical. But the problem is like, if you make a video where you're praising something that you're a part of, what happens is my homies like Archie be like, Alex, stop glazing, bro. Like you're glazing because you guys went and got, in and out and you had a great time that only creators had. And it's like, no, man, like it really was an amazing time.
Yeah, I don't care if people think I'm glazing. I'm
the number one glazer, bro.
Oh, I do the same thing to Nick and Rock and everyone else. Like, if I think it's good content, it's good content. And if it's not, I'll let my friends know, but I'm going to let them know privately. Like, it's one of those things like,
bro, I was
praise in public. Yeah. Praise in public, discipline in private. That's how I treat my friends.
Yeah, man. No,
yeah. This crowd was fucking nuts.
Bro,
like I remember the stories about it when it happened.
And what's so cringe is people see this footage and they go, bro, stop making a big deal out of it. Like, are you insane?
Look at these people
died, bro.
Yeah, there has to be a weight limit on this escalator and everything else going on. Like,
no, that was, bro. Here's the other aspect. Like, we've worked conventions for over a decade with our agency because part of what we do is we set up booths for brands. So I know code in Japan. I know code here. Like, we've worked in a lot of places, and that building was a literal disaster waiting to happen, bro. Like, it was so close.
I'm surprised that Anaheim let them come back after that without making some kind of statement like, we're going to do better. We're going to put not level caps.
No, they ignored it, bro. And that's why I made my second video because Anime Expo would not address it. And it was like, I'm going to be annoying about this and I'm not going to go this year because I want people to understand, like, this isn't clout, this isn't memes, this isn't clickbait. Like, people could have died.
No, and I'm like, people did get hurt. People got hospitalized last year, but no, like, it went so under the radar, thankfully, because no one died, that people are like, oh yeah, they got hurt. This people got to the hospital, but if someone died, absolutely things would have changed instantly because the best way to fix something is going after somebody's wallet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yo, my phone is like, we probably have 5 minutes before my phone's dead.
That is not an issue because we're at the 2-hour mark where we like to say goodnight for the night. Thank you and your family for letting me steal you for 2 hours. Thank you, chat, for coming in. Michael, Jay's Corner TCG saying, I have enough glaze for everybody. It's true. Britt Day, thanks for coming in. Chris Pye, Top Dog Owner, Kev, everybody who asked questions. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Alex, do you have anything you would like to promote, shill, shameless plug. Tell the people where they can find you and what you do.
So as of this year, Alex Ketchum on all platforms. 2 E's in Ketchum, because there's another Alex Ketchum that has the actual spelling. And then I think the one thing I just want everybody who is a content creator, if there's anybody still left right now, you can actually practice this and become like a big creator. Like, my long-term goal with this, man, is to become like a creator, not like where I'm at right now, but like to become a creator. And I want people to see me do it so they know they can do it. Because a lot of people think it's not attainable, or you can't work hard enough to get it done. And I really want to show, like, no, if you work hard enough and if you focus enough, you can get it done.
Yes.
Like,
absolutely.
This is a career path. It's not like you won the lottery. It is a literal life choice where you're like, I'm going to make this career path decision to clock in at tonight. I'll clock in on my edit at 7:21. So I'll go home and I'll work from 8 p.m. until 9:30 p.m. I'll post at 10 p.m. That's the shift today for content.
Yeah.
I want people to understand it,
Yeah. Britt says, and you will 100. Can't wait to witness it.
Thank you, Britt. You're a legend. I love your content.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming in. Thank you again, Alex. My name is I was supposed to say my name is Alex. I got to promote some shit really quick for myself. 2K celebration coming this Wednesday, maybe Saturday. Member giveaway for I'll get it right now. Hold on.
Love you, Rock. Proud of you, buddy. If you're still here.
I asked my members
love you, Metri.
what they wanted to win as a giveaway for 2,000 subs, because without the members I couldn't do a lot of this, because I do recoup the money they give me back into the hobby. Nice. $100 modern, $100 sun and moon, $100 graded, $100 or two $50 cards. They went with $100 of sun and moon, so I got a Shining Legends Raichu GX box for the members. That will be given away to them Wednesday or Saturday. Keep an eye out for that. Until next time, you guys, my name is Gonzo. That is Alex. And don't forget, collect how you want to collect.
Yep.
Peace.
Later.